Hello everybody, it's Peter Rattlebone here, and this is WRTV, Wadhurst Radio and Television. You can get to us by going to wrtv.online, as you've already got here, and you can also hear our stuff on Ferndale Radio in Plymouth. Now, tonight we have Jessica Page. She is signed to Crocodile Music, and we're going to be working our way through the catalogue of the label. Now, Jessica is a singer-songwriter from Melbourne in Australia, my hometown, and we're going to start off with a doco on her. Someone's done a documentary, plus we're going to follow with 3 tracks. All right, so here we go. Without any ado of a further, Jessica Page.
Right, that's going to be like take 4 or 5.
Can someone tell me what
There's something about Melbourne, Australia. It refuses to accept that it's a major city. It wants to be magical. It wants to be whimsical. Art simply sprouts like trees in public spaces. Rivers defiantly cut through industrial high-rises, and everywhere you look, Melbourne is trying to remind you that a city is its people, not just concrete and commerce. It's creativity, it's expression, it's magical. It's no wonder we find busking on these magical streets, an artist who embodies the universal cry of the human condition. But what if I told you that busking artist also won Australia's version of a Grammy, or that she's working on her 4th album? I have a story that could change the way you think about music. I have a story about Melbourne's own Jessica Page, Another Ordinary Rainbow.
Cocktail party waiting for a queen, the king of mystery, sparkling pink champagne, holding a diamond ring. How I long to see your face again.
Before there was a bustling city of steel, plastic, and fiber optic cables, there was a time where the only way that you could have heard music of any kind was to hear someone playing or singing music live. The simple act of listening to music was, in every sense of the word, an event. You had to look for it. You had to plan for it. I can imagine that one of the best things that could ever happen on the way to market was finding a poet-musician on the street playing his lute. Those musicians were humanity's connection to itself. Think about it. Every piece of music for the common or middle-class person was special. It was memorable. Today, we press a button and listen to the first 5 seconds of 10 songs in a row in less than a minute as we scroll past them to get to the one that might hold our attention for a little bit longer. We literally have music playing in the background like wallpaper as we talk and eat at some noisy restaurant. The purpose of the musician, I think, may be lost in a world like that. And in a world like that, when a musician opens up her guitar case, puts it in front of her to collect change, and starts strumming that guitar and singing on the street, those who gather around, hold hands, and throw some change and pull out their smartphones, those people may have needed that reconnection to humanity even more than the early listeners who almost never had music at all. Here in Melbourne, that's exactly what this musician chooses to do. And yes, it still serves the same purpose in 2023 as it did in 1723. Jessica has allowed us unprecedented access into her day-to-day life to document her final months of a project that's taken years to complete. And we were introduced to how she got here in the first place. Let's talk about busking.
Hey Jess.
How are you doing?
I'm alright, how are you?
Pretty good. Just been working away. What have you been getting up to?
You know, same trying to stay out of trouble.
Has it worked?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, good. Good for you. So, sorry about today, but it's going to be a bit hot, so instead of busking, I thought we might go to some gigs and do some stuff like that.
I'm done with that.
All right.
Ramen?
Ramen, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Busking.
Oh yeah.
When did you start?
I was 14 when I started busking. And yeah, then I never stopped. And it was my main income for maybe 20 years.
Really?
18 years maybe.
So you consider that your day job? Literally?
I used to, and I liked it better. I could have had other jobs, but I liked it the best. It's a beautiful thing, busking. There's no alcohol involved. People stop and listen because they want to hear the music, not because they want to have another drink. Yeah, and it's open to everyone. Children can enjoy it. It's wonderful. And a lot of my friends that are musicians that had making money working in venues, they end up being alcoholics and stuff. So I feel very lucky that I had that opportunity. And now I still busk, but it's great because Jerry and I just busk and we use it for our projects.
That'll be Jerry Smith.
That's Jerry. But you've met him already. Remember that amazing song in the intro?
Can someone tell me what I saw?
Yeah.
When I
He and
looked
Jessica
into
Page
your bright
co-wrote
eyes?
that song for the amazing
They
and talented
were most amazing.
actor, singer, and songwriter Jude Pearl, who you hear singing now.
Birds of paradise romancing every kind of multicolored sky.
So, back to the story. Jessica is also Jerry's caretaker, and as if that weren't enough to start any normal person on the path to sainthood, she and Jerry, with the help of a few musicians and grants from the city, also started The Collective, an initiative to provide tangible resources and opportunities to like-minded writers and musicians with disabilities.
What notes to play? How you gonna find your way from A to G?
It's no accident that people are busking and performing arts on the street and making a living in Melbourne. The government supports it in a major way.
Welcome to Melbourne, a city that inspires experimentation, innovation, and creativity. We're immensely proud of our lively street performance culture. Many world-famous artists got their start right here on our street.
I don't know if in Australia that seems normal to you, but let me tell you, in America, there is nothing like that here. That's pretty much unbelievable. Busking is so normal here that at 14, she was stuck in the city with a friend and no money to get home. Never worried, she simply put her hat down and made the bus fare home. Busking. And you made $30 in like an hour.
Yeah, and I gave my notice on the way home. I passed Kirsty, I was walking past. I went and I said, something incredible's happened. And the manager said, what? What happened? And I said, I went busking and I made $30 in an hour. And he said, I only make $17.45 an hour. And I said, really? He said, yeah. And I said, I think I'm going to quit. And he said, I think that's a great idea.
What's your best busking experience?
Oh, there was a dance troupe and they all came and they started dancing and it was beautiful. It was traditional, Taiwanese dance. It was incredible. That was probably my best busking experience.
Okay, well, your worst, and why?
There was a guy that came up to me. It was late at night.
Oh boy.
Some people around, and flicked on a lighter and he was doing this under his hand. And he said, "That guitar's mine." I was holding the guitar. And I said, "It's my father's guitar." I didn't say it's my guitar. I said, "Oh no, it's my father's guitar." So I gave it to you. He came behind the microphone and said, "Give me the guitar." And I said, "Sorry, I can't give you the guitar. I know you think it's yours, but it's actually my father's, so I can't give it to you. Otherwise, I'll get into a lot of trouble."
Wow.
And and he kind of then left, but he was insane. Like I thought he was going to burn me with a lighter or something.
He thought that you were easily intimidated. He wouldn't have to really do anything. He could just say it strongly enough and you'd do it out of fear.
I'd do it out of fear, I guess. Yeah. I didn't. I am not easily intimidated. And even if I am intimidated, I do not let myself succumb to intimidation because you have to respect yourself, and I just couldn't respect myself,
Sometimes you see some pretty strange people on the street. It takes a lot to scare me, but there's some pretty crazy things out there. There's an energy that it's very hard to describe, but it's the best you can feel, really, when people stop and enjoy it, You feel like you're really part of something.
An Absolutely Ordinary Rainbow is a poem written by Australian poet Les Murray, in which a man sobs in the middle of the street and a crowd gathers to witness the quote-unquote dignity of his weeping. Every one of them wishing they could cry like him. It's so human. You see, the true beauty of a rainbow is that it's ordinary and not special. We see them in oil leaks left on the dirty concrete and reflections of curved glass in the backgrounds of our business meetings. But they're faint and transparent and require focus and intention to see them, so most rainbows simply go unnoticed, and we drive under them and talk through them all the time. But the point of the artist is to make us look up. The point of the artist is to remind us of the beauty of everyday life and our shared humanity, sobbing, our depressions, our happiness, our elations. The humanity that binds us. And Jessica Page, she is that even ordinary rainbow with an extraordinary gift born as much from the darkness as it is shaped by the light.
Growing up, you know that story, The Ugly Duckling? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my family, everyone was pretty musical. They were born and they were basically able to sing. However, with me, they realized I was basically deaf till I was about 3.
Okay.
I didn't learn how to talk till late, and also, by the time I was 6, I was probably as musical as a 3-year-old, you know what I mean? Because I hadn't been able to hear properly. So, I remember going to singing lessons or having one singing lesson when I was 6 and them laughing and saying, "Poor thing, she's got no talent." Yeah, which didn't really affect me. Like, I was a pretty 6-year-old. Things just roll off your back, I think, when you're 6. So, though my dad took me to a lot of things, like he'd take me out of school, he'd also, like the first time I was doing a vocal session for him in a big studio in front of a lot of his friends, he kept yelling out, "You flat, Jess, you flat," and they were all laughing at me, Like he'd do things like that, which wasn't very nice, and tell me my songs were shit.
Wow.
So though he's a great songwriter, and he did tell me things about songwriting, and I listened, you know, it wasn't the most nurturing environment.
I'm tired of taking all the blows.
I have noticed something about songwriters, and I find it very interesting. Songwriters, their brains work in a certain way, and I've done some research. And basically, trauma in the childhood, when there's trauma, you kind of escape into this fantasy place, which is the amygdala in your brain. And basically, people who are songwriters that are good tend to have a bigger amygdala.
Now, I won't pretend to know much about the amygdala, but I do know that research has shown that people suffering from depression, anxiety, or even physical ailments like cancer can find relief from their symptoms by expressing themselves through art. So musicians and writers who've gone through trauma more than likely used art to survive that trauma. And yeah, under those circumstances, you get really good at it. And there's another side to music and trauma. It's you, the listener. According to Dr. Christine Bacho, quote, research has suggested that sad music plays a role in emotional regulation. It evokes pleasant emotions like bliss and awe along with sadness, and is more likely than happy music to arouse the intensely pleasurable responses like chills and the release of hormones like oxytocin and prolactin, hormones associated with social bonding and nurturance. Sad music can actually facilitate recovering positive mood, end quote. So, it turns out music isn't just for fun listening, or a really good teaching tool to help memorize your ABCs and vocabulary words. According to Dr. Bacho, the music made by artists like Jessica and the others shown here provide a viable, temporary substitution for a social network, a close friend, a comforting hand on your shoulder, and a house call from a trusted family doctor. That's what we get from their trauma. And it's a gift I think we should never take for granted.
I'm sure Uncle Doug would love this.
Yeah.
She's doing her
Stuff from the my water filter that I got for half price.
It's beauty.
Because the
Those
water,
ceramic ones are the best ones.
they are good. Because the water in Werribee is very, well, apparently okay.
Mm-hmm.
My boyfriend told me this, and he knows stuff.
Yeah.
He said that the water that we're drinking comes from the poo farm, and then they treat it, and then they put it back into the Werribee water. I don't.
No, that's
No,
not good.
they
That's
wouldn't
not
do that, would it?
comforting. Well, they recycle water.
They do, okay, yeah.
They
it's
recycle water from worse.
distillation plant.
Yeah, they put it through a process.
Anyway, so our water's tastes like chlorine, our water here.
Yeah, it would.
It really does.
All right.
Yeah, tomato salad. So how you make a tomato salad is you cut up the tomato and you add salt. And the sauce that's made comes from the juices of the tomato.
The genius of Les Murray to me is found in the last 4 lines of the poem. Quote, "And when he stops, he simply walks between us, mopping his face with the dignity of one man who has wept and now is finished weeping, evading believers, he hurries off down Pitt Street." You see, the man weeping is just an ordinary guy, a human being with a life that's multifaceted, surprising at times and mundane at others. The rainbow he's shown in less than 44 lines of a poem isn't his life. It's only a snapshot of a single moment and a small part of who he is. And now, watching Jessica cook, laugh, and just be a regular everyday person, it's so easy to forget that she's the same person who wrote some of the most heartfelt and amazing songs I've heard in years. The whole point of this documentary is to show the whole person. So not only did we follow her around holding hands with her boyfriend or in business meetings with TV associates, she's made video diaries throughout the process that range from boring to insightful to heartbreaking. Let's move past the snapshots and meet the same person who has to find a way to raise money for studio time, but wins national songwriting awards like it's nothing.
So I've got some award. I won 4 awards at the Music Oz Awards, which was Song of the Year and something else like Song of the Year, APRA Songwriting Award, maybe for that one, not sure. I've also got an APRA Songwriting Award. APRA Songwriting Awards, they're kind of like the industry award where they look at what's the best song.
Wow.
It doesn't have to do with sales and stuff.
Yeah.
So I've got one of them, and a lot of my favorite songwriters have that award as well.
That's freaking amazing. Are you kidding me? And listen to you. Well, I think I won 4. I don't remember. Like, I was at the top of every rooftop going, "Did you know I won this award?"
Yeah, well, I think that, I don't know, like there are a lot of awards. There's probably like 20 or something. You know, all I wish is that they gave more money when you won.
And since she's not going to tell you, allow me to give you just a few of the awards Jessica Page has won. The APRA Songwriting Award, the Music Oz Top 10 finalist in the pop category, Best New Artist at the Sound Vault in Melbourne, the Range Songsmith Award, the Australian Songwriters Association, the ASA, Open Section in 2010, and the Pop Dance section with her song Miss You. And that's just a few. Most recently, in 2014, she was nominated along with her collaborators Daniel and Gideon Frankel and Alex Werman for the APRA Screen Awards for her song Begin Again, the song in this trailer you're watching right now.
And I guess you need a friend to show you how to begin again.
So I'm keeping a video diary of sorts for you, Doug. I haven't been recording that much lately to this kind of diary. I've actually been feeling a bit low and overwhelmed. I've got so many projects on the run and it can be overwhelming. And sometimes I feel scared I won't get it all done. What a fear to have. Why are these creative projects so important to us? Figure out if it needs form.
Why is this so important to us? The hidden hours spent mixing, editing, staring at a screen, listening to the same 4 seconds of one song over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Let's just rough hand this. Let's be rough. Let's just be rough with it. It just sounds way... Have I got other things on mute?
I'm sure you've heard artists say things like,
I grew up where songwriters felt like their songs were their babies and they wouldn't sell their babies.
I don't think there's any expectation of sincerity left in music from artists. And I believe that artists are sincere, and I think to be an artist, like an actual artist, it comes from deep within us, and it's a necessity that we have to put it out. And I don't just mean being an artist as a singer or a writer.
and maybe that's the reason it's so important. For an artist, it's a necessity, not a pastime. And even though it's a necessity for us, life doesn't stop for it. Real life is still waiting for us on the other side of that computer.
But I'm not in it long enough at a time for it to really take me off of music at all. Like, you know, if I was doing this every year, I mean, I'd just be a zombie, I think, you know.
Well, I'm really lucky. I've bought a house and I've been renovating it with my friends, you know. Gotten out of a relationship that wasn't very great and was robbed after that. There's just a whole lot of things that have been very stressful. But I think I'll feel better soon anyway.
Which is not very famous.
Oh well. Can I show you something I wrote?
Yeah.
Okay.
The kings in all together, resolved together, resolved together, resolved together, as naked as the day that he was born. So it's another one where it's just the fairy.
This is Eric McCusker from a pretty famous band called Mondo Rock.
Cool World, Chemistry, Summer of 81, State of the Heart, the list goes on and on. Mondo Rock responsible for these hits and set to tour for the first time in 24 years. Ross Wilson and Eric McCusker, good afternoon to you both.
Hey, Dennis.
Hi, Dennis.
You see, this album is one of the most collaborative endeavors of Jessica's music career. I'll let her tell you some of the names.
And recording it with a lot of Melbourne's greatest musicians, such as David Jones, Eric McCusker from Mondo Rock, Philip Rex on bass, Tim Wilde,
Paul Grabowski, and he's quite a famous composer down here.
Hey guys, I'm in the studio with my friend who doesn't want to be seen. And he's begun mixing this song, and I think it's sounding really fantastic. This is an example of some of the music that's going to be coming out. Is this even recording yet?
The opportunity to work with her heroes is just one, though. She's made connections for the first time with radio personalities, CBS Radio, jazz stations, and the chance to get played on these stations. But perhaps the biggest opportunity is the chance to get her music licensed with a TV show. And that's a TV show where she's a part of the writing and the concept. And this is a big deal, guys. As far as the artist's big breaks go, this is it. And I'll try to explain why this is such a big opportunity in a second, but let's hear what this show is all about and why it's so important first.
Now, let's see if I can get through it. There's nothing more important than me than you. We may as well be clear since we're talking.
So Fable Bodied is a TV show I'm collaborating on with Ben McMaster, based around the idea that there's a land called Fable where all the fairy tales and stories on Earth continue on, and that these stories are affected by the changes here on Earth.
So in order to make the world safe again, these citizens of Fable teleport to Earth. However, the teleportation device hasn't been refined yet, and through the process of being atomized and then put back together, when they arrive, they find they've changed and they've acquired different disabilities. And it's really inspiring because despite these disabilities, they continue on to fulfill their missions here on Earth. And it's also kind of funny because, of course, they're fairy tale characters trying to get used to Earth.
So why is this such a big deal? Well, the money you get from selling a song, a download, you get that once, and that's it. But when you have music licensed on a TV show, you get paid every time that show airs, and every time it's clipped for promo, and every time the name is used, and so on and so on. And like I said, it's a really big deal. So we're proud of her. She's proud of herself. In the end, all of this stems from her just being a good person, and her choice one day at 14 years old to go busking for bus money home.
You alive now, Jimmy?
All of the trauma couldn't dim her light. Because of busking, she meets Jerry and becomes a caretaker. Out of that, she extends it to helping everyone with disabilities and talents. And out of that, a TV producer on the other side of the world notices her talent and decency, and now she's writing music as well as scripts for TV, while still helping those less fortunate than her. In all of this, I've not only learned that perseverance, decency, and being really talented are things that you probably need if you want to make it. But no matter what, there are a plethora of amazing artists out there who you will never hear of because their light will be buried under the constraints of an unfair industry. That's just how it is. And every artist has to face that in their own way.
Like, I keep on thinking about music and how everything seems to be about how you look and like being an influencer, or like musicians aren't really, it's such a weird thing. It's like you're not selling music anymore. It's like you're selling an image, or, you know, and it's kind of, oh, look, it's, what is it? It's disheartening, I guess. It's hard to care about something so much. And I've been really emotional lately. There's this beautiful work, and all these great artists have played on it. And sometimes I feel like, why couldn't, like, I'm really lucky to be able to make music that I think is really good and I'm really proud of. But it's been given to someone. I get to make this work, but I really fear that I'll make bad decisions for it. I've made bad decisions in the past because I've always lacked the self-esteem to get it past the next stage. I just really don't want to let myself down. I guess I can. Anyway, it's all getting there.
When I started out to make this documentary, I was expecting to have a lighthearted romp while listening to cool music in big studios. What I found instead is an expansion of the definition of artistry and what it means to be a proud product of Melbourne, a city that seems to understand the necessity of self-expression. I found a superstar with a heart of gold and has grown from a solitary musician healing herself with strings tuned just right to a confident, caring, beautiful person that makes some seriously world-class music that is worth supporting. She needs support from all of us for all these reasons. And I never said that before in a documentary. But yeah, what I found was a story documenting a journey that only this city could have provided the GPS for.
She's not very famous.
I write my own songs, just not as well as Eric does. Write my songs.
I also found a decent, kind person in transition from toxic relationships reenacting childhood abuse to a relationship now built on respect and love and common goals for each other. I have a story about Melbourne's own Jessica Page, another ordinary rainbow.
I'm going to be recording a string section soon for one of the songs.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, there's a guy down here, Paul Grabowski, and he's quite a famous composer down here. I don't know who he was because dyslexia makes it practically impossible to remember names.
Right.
Information retrieval can be a problem.
Yeah.
So my friend and I, Jerry, went and we saw him playing with his trio, and there was about 9 people there, and I thought, oh well, so he's not very well known, but I thought he's brilliant, just incredible. And I thought, well, for the next week or two, I woke up and every morning I thought I should get in touch with that guy, we could make great work. And then I thought, but it's just so weird to contact someone out of the blue like that. I was making bolognese and I was drinking red wine, and I thought, I can bear this no longer. So I got on Facebook and I messaged him and I said, hi Paul, my name's Jess. You don't know me, but I'm a songwriter and I greatly admire your work. Thinking of the jazz lab.
Right.
I said, I think we should write some music together. I believe it would be wonderful. And don't worry, I'm an APRA award-winning songwriter, so I'm not shit.
Nice.
I probably didn't realise how well known he was until about 6 months into our working relationship. Eric McCusker knew him. I said, I can never remember his last name because it's Polish and it's Grabowski. But there's a lot of letters in that, right?
Yeah.
And we were doing Zoom to write because it was during COVID. And what happened? Oh, and then eventually my boyfriend at the time bought an album. There's a guy called Paul Kelly down here that's quite famous. Very famous. He's a household name down here.
Okay.
And I saw on the back cover, it said Paul Kelly and Paul Grabowski on the front cover. I was like, I'm not sure if that's the guy because I can't remember if it's, I had a lot of trouble. Was it Greg Pekalski or Paul Grabowski? Like it was
right.
just.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I looked at the back cover and his face was there and I've gone, oh no, this is him. Oh, that is him. I've gone, okay.
He's
and
only
then
working with the most...
Hi everybody, it's Peter Rattlebone here, and this is the Rock Down Music Show. We're featuring artists tonight from Crocodile Music in London. And one of the artists they have on their little list there is called Jessica Page. Jessica is a singer-writer from Melbourne, and they've also done a doco on her down there. And so we're going to feature the documentary as well as 3 tracks. So here's Jessica Page.
Tired of playing by the rules. Tired of trying to be good. Tired of dealing with your shit. Didn't know you never should. If I'm too scared, then you're too scary. Anyway, it doesn't matter now. I'm tired of taking all the blows. When it's you that's feeling bad. And I'm tired of trying to please you. When man, you know, you're never pleased. If I'm too scared, then you're too scary.
This next track in is absolutely beautiful. I'm not going to tell you the name, you can figure it out yourself, because you're pretty smart people to watch this show, obviously. Now, I just love the track, and you make up your own mind about it, but I'm very impressed by it.
Slowly in, slowly out. It's all you ever think about. Breathe it in, breathe it out. It's all you ever think about. You're under my skin, you're under my skin, and it's all I ever, you're all I ever think about, you're all I ever think about. You and me and a new beginning, you're all I ever think about. You're all I ever think about. It's you. Pull it in, push it out. It's all you ever think about. Slowly in, slowly out. It's all you ever think about. You're under my skin, you're under my skin, and it's all I ever, you're all I ever think about, you're all I ever think about. Just you and me and a new beginning. You're all I ever think about, all I ever think about. You and me and a new beginning. You're under my skin, you're under my skin. You and me and a new beginning. You're under my skin, under my skin. You and me and a new beginning. Under my skin, under my skin. You and me and a new beginning. Under my skin, under my skin. You and me and a new beginning.
And this last track from Jessica is called Dream Come to Life, and it's on her first album. And if you go to crocodilemusic.com, www.crocodilemusic.com, and that's where you'll find all the material we play here. Okay, thanks very much for watching, and we'll be back next week with another show.
Is this how it feels? There's a tingling beneath my skin. The world shrunk down to the space between you and me. Is this how it feels? A smile tickling my cheeks. My feet tread so lightly I could be floating. Is this real life? It's a dream life. Is this my life? Is it my life? It's a dream life. You're a dream come to life. You're a dream come to life. This is how I feel. Your hand reached out to touch my heart, and now it pitter-pats. A beat out for the both of us. This is how I feel. Your lips touched me so lightly, tracing tiny patterns that lit up across my skin. Just trying to find a way to reach you. You make me feel so connected. Is this real life? It's a dream life. Is this my Is it my life? It's a dream life. You're a dream come to life. You're a dream come